Hello everybody. Welcome to the channel if you are new, and welcome back if you are already a subscriber. In today's video, we are going to be going through my post actual documenting week prep for Week in the Life 2024. So in the first video, which I will try to link in the ID card if I can remember, I basically just kind of shared what I would be using, what my generalized plans were, a kit that I had made, that kind of stuff. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and head over to the channel and check that out if I don't have it linked. But what I really wanted to do is kind of series this out a little bit. So I wanted to show kind of where we're at post actual documenting week. So we're not completely at final product, but we're just kind of like, okay, these are the materials that we have to work off of and what I've chosen to work with. So the first thing I want to take a quick look at is the journal. So this is a printed copy. You can get it digitally. I think this is from a few years ago. I think they revamp them a little bit every year. I actually have a physical copy of this particular journal, and then I obviously have the digital copy. It has served me really, really well to have a digital copy every year because it lets me kind of journal throughout the week beyond the scope of Hobonichi and stuff like that to kind of work on getting granular and being able to have something to reflect on and pull from, even though kind of after the project has settled and simmered in my mind a little bit. And per my usual, and it's kind of a running joke with my friend at this point, that if it's going to be a documenting week or day, it kind of never fails where it's all going to kind of just go really left. And it all started with the very first day in the life I ever had. I put a lot of time and effort into the prep work. My days were pretty well-oiled machines at that point, so it was really easy for me to kind of create a plan for, you know, if I woke up here, what the day would look like. If I woke up, so my boyfriend and I live separately, so if I woke up at his house, what it would look like if I woke up at my house. And then the same like for ending wise, and then obviously the middles were kind of the same because I'm at work. So it kind of gave me a layout a bit of how I wanted to structure it. And those videos are also over on the YouTube in terms of prep, and that first day in the life I actually did complete. So that's probably one of the only projects that's actually full on to completion at this point. But what I think is interesting is literally when I tell you it went left first thing, it went left at 12:30 in the morning that day. And I really just kind of still ran with it. I kept the same platform. I kept the same like roadmap, and I just documented what actually happened. And even though it's not an actual depiction of what a normal day at that time would have looked like, it is still me granularly documenting a day that just was not that great. And I think it's so important to, I feel like scrapbooking can be a lot like Instagram and be that highlight reel. So I really quite enjoy flipping through and having the not so great stuff in there documented as well, because I think it just adds a little bit of balance. So let me know if you're one of those people as well. But per usual, this week did not, I really just kind of thought it was going to be a normal week, and it was anything but. So what I decided to do and have in the past is I use this platform, so the Hourly, to write down literally what's happening every hour in the hour. And so I did really good with documenting that. I didn't choose to use the gratitude pages this year. I have in the past. And then I used the ING page to document kind of what was happening. So I really like how I wrote out the driving part. I really like that I have like those ING words of what we were, you know, kind of struggling with as well. And then you have some room to write what you wanted to remember and just some blank pages. I didn't use those for any of the days. Mainly because I felt like the Hourly and the ING words and the photographs, and I'm trying to kind of do this as quickly as I can so that it doesn't simmer for too long. And a lot of the residual from that week is still hanging out, so it's all kind of like in a blur, but it's also still really fresh. So I think it would be really good if I could go ahead and just get the project done to completion. But what I really recommend if you're going to do this project is to definitely have some type of journal structure like this, or somewhere you can take good notes. I just like the structure of this journal because all the hard work is cut out of it for me. So it's really just document in real time. And I try to approach the project more from the perspective of document, take your notes, write your stuff down, try to remember to take pictures. Don't necessarily like get too in the weeds of like, okay, I don't specifically look for anything. I'll put it that way. I know when I've done day in the life projects before, I'm specifically trying to capture a moment. So I'm specifically trying to get that shot of my coffee that morning. I'm specifically trying to get like a work or a hobby shot. I'm specifically trying to include Binks in it, which is my cat. I'm specifically documenting my meals, and I'm trying to just make sure I get everything in there. Whereas with week in the life, I'm a little bit more open. At least this year I really was. And the theme that I wanted to go with this year was ING words. So it was really important to me to definitely fill out the hourly, because even if I didn't get a picture for something, so for example, Cyrano is a movie that I watched on Tuesday, and I'm probably just gonna need to either I can use a documenting style card, or I might want to print the like maybe the movie poster or something like that. I haven't quite decided how that's going to come into play. I placed a Paper Haunt order that day, the Paper Haunt order. So you guys have seen the haul from that. I placed that order that week. So I might want to pull, like, this is really cool. So I still have the tissue paper out on my desk from it. I wonder if, oh, that one's like unharmed. So what I might do is like, is this like all the way unharmed? Okay, there's a little bit going on right there, but I think I could do a 4x4 of that pretty easy and mount it. So I need to take care of that very carefully. But little things like that, like ephemera from the day and things of that nature. So it's really important that I use that, because I'm not necessarily going to have like a screenshot of my order. I mean, I guess I could, but like for me, I would rather use the tissue paper. I might just write about the movie. Again, you know, for things that I'm watching, I might try to just pull a movie poster or like the show poster from it. One thing that I was really doing at this time was almost like making another kind of hourly, where I was like taking an hour saying I want to do this thing and this other thing. So in this case, a lot of it was going back and retroactively journaling for some days in March and days in April. But also I've started this new style of, I need to make sure that the daily page for that page is done. If I get to do another, you know, a retroactive page, great. If not, I let it go. That way once these pages are caught up, they're for real caught up. So I'm really excited about that. And it's been working. I was pricing out stuff for Universal, so I took notes on that, because that's not something I'm necessarily going to have a picture of. So I can do planning and do some typing on it, or maybe try to find a page that works with that. Again, the ING words. So it's not just the ING words that are in the journal, but it's also things like planning. It's watching, which I think I do have one. Is there a watching? Yeah, there is a watching. There's gardening that's not in here. There's all kinds of ING words that, like I said, are just not on this list that I still wanted to use. And I really wanted to push myself to use words that were not in this as well, if that makes sense. So those are really the only things that I concentrated on in the journal, was the hourly section and the ING section, just making sure that those were completed. And like I said, the week was really crazy. So sometimes the ING words really were not the best to use. So I'm going to be really curious to see how this project finishes out, for sure. I'm probably going to say And that's interesting to me because I'm pretty sure I chatted with Jen. Oh no, okay, that was legit. I thought I was like messed up there for a minute. It's very interesting to me that I did so well with documenting, but it's also amazing to me that I'll forget how quickly you forget, like, what was I actually watching? What was I doing? So I think it's really important to try to fill this part out as you go and daily. Like, you'll see towards the weekend, it got a little less busy, but like on Saturday, we were literally car shopping the entire day, pretty much. So there's really, that's a different discussion, but it's like car and truck shopping. And then we went to Cooley's. Then there was a system meltdown, which was not funny at all. But like, I can say shopping or browsing. I could say stressing because there was a lot of that going on. I could say budgeting. I could say, there's a lot of ing words that I can pull from. So I'll be curious to see what some of my choices end up being. Dreaming about spooky season. I'll definitely have, that's another thing that I do like about the ing words in the hourly is like, if you don't necessarily have a lot of photos, like we're going to see a lot of blank spaces. And when I show you kind of how I've set this up now that the week is over and now that I have photos and I can see where my blank spaces are, how I'm going to cope with that. That is where Jeff was sitting next to my journal and eating breakfast, and he cut his, he had a breakfast sausage and it like went everywhere. My lavender finally sprouted. I'm so mad I don't have a picture of it from like when it first sprouted. It's very annoying. But I probably would put some kind of blurb about that because it took it ages. I could do filming because I was doing some filming that day. Sunday, HHN was finally booked. I would probably put booking for that. I don't know that I would say loving, which was fun. And then that is it because it's just a bunch of blank paper beyond this point. So I'm going to fold this up and move it out of the way, but I don't know why my work printer, and it's done it the last, it did it like this last year too, and I think the year before, where it prints this in like 2 different booklets for some reason instead of like all as one. I don't know if it's just like it can't handle more than that or what the deal is. I print them from work, but I do think it's kind of nice because then, I can keep the first half on me pretty easy for like the Monday through Thursday side of things, and then at Friday flip it over for the weekend and carry a little bit of a smaller booklet around with me. So I think this works out really well. Like I said, I'm pretty sure there's a new, they've updated it, and, there might be a newer version out there that's kind of similar. That's just the version I have, and it is from 2021, I think. I'm pretty sure it's 2021. So now we're going to look at these. So let me clarify what design this is. This is design P. So each block is a 4x4 measurement, and I really wanted to not use my design A, and then I think it's design F or something where it's just like lots and lots of 3x4 cards, and I really just wanted to challenge myself to go into a different size so that we could blow up these photos. What I originally wanted was more of like a Polaroid style look in here, but the photos printed a little bit odd. So I just decided to make it work and roll with it. And I think it's going to be fine. I really just wanted kind of that uniform look with all the photos. So of them all looking like Polaroids. And that's definitely something I might try to look into and fix a little bit before next year and just play with. I think it would have been different if I had put them into 3x4 size. I think it would have printed better, but the 4x4 I think just kind of like messed with it a bit. So, work with what you've got and change it if you really hate it. I don't really hate it. I think it'll be okay. due to the fact that I didn't take as many photos on some days as I normally would have, because I was really immersed in just trying to document and like take my notes, but I was also really immersed in just being present, and really it felt a little bit like you were caught in a tornado or a tsunami or something. I've never been in either of those. I'm just like going off of what I've seen through like obviously motion picture. So I'm just imagining that it's a little bit like that, but I was just really trying to be the best partner, be supportive, and just really concentrate on being present that week. And not, there was a little bit of concern that I had about the week of, you know, was it selfish to continue documenting through everything being really chaotic? And I kept going back to, you know, that very first day in the life I had. And, you know, I remember at several points as I documented, like, I really don't want this to be my first day in the life. I really don't want to look back on this. And I've actually had people comment or reach out, you know, that they were glad that I documented it, even though it was not good, because they'd had similar experiences, or they felt like it was more genuine, which it was, you know, that it was, I could have very easily said, I'm going to scrap this project and I'm going to move it to a better day. And there was actually, I mean, I kind of struggled with that even into the very next day, where I was like, you can tell in my camera roll, I started documenting just the same. Like, okay, if I up and change my mind, I have a backup. And I ended up going with the day, and I still stick by that. Like, you look back and you will remember exactly how you feel. You will remember the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I think it is just so important. So I really just, again, I really wanted to keep the week, keep the photos, keep the lack of photos, keep it all. So starting with the first day, I finally got around to taking a picture, and I've been hoping to get some of these, and I'd really love to get better ones, maybe for day in the life this year. But there's all these very gorgeous farm fields out by Jeff's house, and I really wanted to get a shot. And there's like a bend in the road. There's like one of the first curves that you take off the dirt road, and you get this like really pretty kind of small view. It's a large view past the gate, but it's like this little bend, and you can see so far out. And so I took a picture of that, just like right there at like just the brink of sunrise. Like, you know, things are starting to lighten up, but nothing's turned golden yet. It's just that little beginning sparkle. And then we have here, I'll go ahead and separate this so we can see where the blank spaces are for sure. Then it's my breakfast. So I wanted to talk about that. I'm having a thing right now of like an egg bite, and I take one serving, not one serving, because I think one serving is like 3 of them, but these are the mini cinnamon toast waffles. I don't put anything on them. I just want the waffle and 1 egg bite. Super bizarre. I'm really into snack breaks, specifically with the Stonefire garlic and herb crisps. So those are really good. My mom sent me this picture of a deer in her yard, and then I sent it to Jeffrey, and we were like, is this normal? But it is totally normal. This is the picture of me working, and what makes this so memorable is this is the last shot probably that I will have at that desk in that office, because I moved into my new office literally a week after this picture was taken. And I always take a work photo. If you guys have watched any of the vlogs, you'll see, you know, that my setup's there. So the next vlog you guys see, I'm not going to be at that desk. And it didn't hit me until I took it, that I was like, oh, because it's so normal for me to take that picture or to, you know, include it in a vlog, that it just seemed so natural. And then it grounded me in that moment of, in the midst of this chaotic week, all the little things that were happening that were the last time something was going to happen, or the beginning of a change. And I couldn't help but find the beauty in that. So again, I encourage you that no matter what your week in the life looked like, or, you know, can turn into, you know, have a little bit of grace with that and run with it, because you will thank yourself later. This is a picture of the red beans and rice I made. That was the first time I'd ever made them. We had crock potted them overnight. So traditionally, red beans and rice are served on Mondays, and the recipe was his aunt's. So I was really happy to get that picture in there. So what I'm gonna do is I think in this particular case, I know my plan, and it still is my plan, is to take my black label maker and write whatever ing word it is. So then what I want to do is use these blank spaces possibly. I'm a little disjointed on how it's going to go, because my thought was that if it was Polaroid style, I could do the journaling underneath and then do the ing word, like maybe like with the label maker at the top. Like I was thinking it was going to be a little bit more uniform, and I still really like that idea, and I think I'm just going to modify it and move it into next year, or maybe give it a go for day in the life, so that both my week in the life and day in the life are from an ing perspective. The other thought that I'm now having, because I really don't want to cover up too much of the photo, I thought about like, do I put like a label and write a little bit about what's happening, or do I use these blank spaces to write out longer form journaling? Also, another thing that I've thought of at this point is flaps for each one. If there's a longer story to be told, like for this, I might just say obsessing, because I've been doing egg bites and a sweet thing. So it's like a sweet and a savory. And I might do currently obsessing over sweet and savory for breakfast, cinnamon toast, mini waffles, and egg bites. Like something really simple and cute. And then do a label. Other things I may need more long-term journaling for them. Like I really want to talk about these two moments more than anything, because they were like not just the big moments of the day, but bigger moments of the week. Being able to cook my first red beans and rice, and my thoughts on that being my last day at the that desk in my office. This is a picture of me on the elliptical and my book. So I am rereading Lord of the Rings until I'm done. Hopefully I'll be done in May, maybe a little bit into June. So it's a picture of me on the elliptical for an hour, which is typically about how long I go, which is a little over 4 miles. And I've been reading while I'm on the elliptical. So that's currently kind of where that's at. I really was excited about this photo because I really wanted to put everything, because it's an ing word, but it is an everything bagel with cream cheese. I don't know what ing word I'm going to use for this. It was leftovers, and it turned out okay. But again, you see lots of blank spaces. This is where that journal comes in really handy, because otherwise I'd be like, I don't know what I did for the day. Like I don't remember off the top of my head. So let's go to Tuesday and see maybe why I didn't take as many pictures. Like what was I kind of doing? I was definitely at work. I was listening to Children of the Watch podcast. I was watching TMC videos. I was alone at the office. HHN fights. I had a dream about HHN fights. I was like, what was I talking about? Oh, okay. So this was the day I was planning, and I called Universal and was speaking with them directly. So I talked about that a little bit. So that could be a whole little blurb, like stuff like that. So you just want to go back through here. Let's see what else was kind of going on. I was browsing and purchasing the Paper Haunt stickers, watching Cyrano, things like that. So those are the things that will go in here. Now, whether I choose a photo to represent it or I just do some journaling remains to be seen. But that's kind of how I'm going to approach those blank spaces. Going into the next day, again, we have a lot of blank space. I was remote this day. I don't know if I worked out or not, but like I would typically put like whatever the workout is. I loved this shot because it's like the messiest coffee table. It's Banks trying to get at my sandwich. It's my laptop, so I'm like working, I'm journaling, I'm eating, like it's everything all at once. That's Banks and her tree, which I thought was really cute. And then this is a really pretty shot of the backyard at the Ungalow, which Jeff is letting all of the clover grow. And he's not mowing it so that the bees have plenty of clover to eat from. going into the next day, we're getting a little bit more photos. It's funny because the next one I show you is literally going to be a whole page of photos. I'm going to have to figure out if I want to take something out. These two are from the morning, but I really loved how the sunrise looked on the patio. And it was funny because that was the first cup of coffee I had. So I drove all the way home without coffee and I was exhausted. So I really wanted to talk about that. My boss and I ordered Papa John's, but we tried a new pizza style. So I just want to talk about that. I went grocery shopping and I finally got the True Moo blue milk, and I've actually been using it as creamer, which is interesting. And then I used the heart-shaped rigatoni to make Jeffrey dinner. I was full for pizza, so because we kind of graze on it all day. So I just made him the pasta and he literally ate the whole container. It was bananas. But again, I'm leaving room for those stories. So I might just put morning and then tell both of those stories. I might put morning savoring, because I definitely savored that cup of coffee by the time I got it. Like I will and I'm going to try my hardest not to repeat words if I can. That's another goal for the project. Now we are in Friday. Is this Friday or am I crazy? I think this is Friday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, so this is Friday. I'm also typically I would just take all the photos, take all the stuff, and then just go until like, I'm not as like one page for one day. I've really just let the project float on. There's really, just one will bleed into the next, and it's just the whole thing is week in a life. But I really wanted to condense it and only have one side. I did have extra pocket pages of where I could have expanded it, and it would have been 12 options that I could have done, but I actually didn't have a day where that was gonna work. This was the fullest day that I had. Not that I can't find more ing words, obviously, in the days that I'm lower on photos, but I think that this is fine. I might take out one of these photos. I really like the painting and the driving aspect, but I don't think it's quite as necessary. So I think one of these is not going to make it. And same with this. I'm really not sure that I need 3 gardening photos. I do like this morning shot of Banks. I was starting to prep some Project Life photos. So I'm going to take just a quick minute to pause because I know that my video uploads are oddly inconsistent. Normally I'm uploading on Wednesdays and Fridays Wednesdays and Sundays. So typically Wednesdays used to be planner videos and Sundays would be more paper crafting. So week in the life updates, DIY kits, Project Life spreads, like all those good things, haul videos, that kind of fun stuff. And then I had a package specifically from Coffee Monster Co. get hung up, and that, that kind of started the off-kilter side of things. Well, then just life kind of is life, and it got out of hand, and I was posting only one video a week. And in the last video I filmed for that haul, I was really excited. I thought for sure, I think it was even a video before that, I was like, you guys, I'm going to get all caught up. I'm going to be able to give you bonus videos. I had a whole day of content planned. And then life did what life often likes to do. And I ended up spending 12 hours, the day that I had planned to film a lot of content that was almost kind of ready to go. It was very plug and play. I was literally, ready to just film it for the most part like this. And I ended up spending 12 hours in the ER with my mother. My mom is fine. It was a day for sure, but my mom is doing well. But it was very stressful. It was very crazy. As you can imagine, 12 hours in the ER does not sound like fun. She did end up having surgery that day. Everything was very unplanned. But that unfortunately meant that I did not get to film anything. And then the next day I really just kind of had to play just generalized catch up and work remotely. And obviously with everything, I know I'm kind of being very cryptic, but obviously with everything else going on that didn't have to do with my mother was still happening. So I really just have been in it, guys. So I really appreciate your patience. I am hoping to get everything kind of at least back on track. And then from there, start to try to fill in some bonus videos and make up for the content that was missed. So just bear with me. We'll get there together. And I really just appreciate you guys not being like, where'd you go? Did you abandon us? So I really appreciate that. So I just wanted to take a minute to address it because it makes me sad that I can't deliver the content, but I also can't control everything. I wish I could, but I really had grand and lofty plans, and they weren't even really grand or lofty. They were completely realistic, and then the whole day just got taken from me, unfortunately. And I'm so grateful that my mother's okay and that she's healing well, and that is now settled. However, it doesn't mean that it did not mess up, it did mess up my obligation to you guys. So I just wanted to address it. But back to the spread. So one of these pictures is probably not going to make it. If I were to guess, I'm going to say that this is not going to make it. And I'll just journal about it a little bit, or, something like that. Cause I really quite like this picture with all the little water droplets on the leaves. But I was working on prepping those Star Wars spreads that I never ended up filming. Typically, I would put out a spread on May the 4th and May the 6th. That didn't even happen this year, which really upset me quite a bit because it is my nerdy side. So it felt very odd to not have my video out and not dress up those days. I feel very out of sync. So I'm working to get everything kind of recalibrated and get myself back in the groove. So work with me, guys. I've got this awesome picture of Banks, and I'm gonna hold it up so that there's maybe not so much of a glare, but I freaking love the few opportunities that I can catch where she yawns and it just looks so ferocious. So I'm definitely gonna put yawning or resting. There's the photo of me watering garden, which was these were the first photos that I've ever taken using my watch, which was really cool. Got some photos of the squash. I was painting my nails, then I was driving to pick up dinner for Jeff and I. Again, I think I'm just going to take these out because I think otherwise this whole spread is going to look really, really odd with the fact that it's so full. And I think I would have to use a lot of flips. So we'll see how that goes. And then, I've got to have a landing spot to journal is basically what I'm saying. And then this great shot of Jeff holding Banks, and we're out on the patio and she is just eagle eye, super curious about the traffic. We only take her out there when we're holding her because she is an indoor cat and I am a very protective mommy. Conversely, this has absolutely no photos. Now, could I definitely take some of these photos and move them over because they're still in the week in the life? Absolutely. And I've not completely ruled that out, and we'll talk about that when we get to the last page here in a minute. So this is a really cute picture, and I really like this because it's me in bed. You can see Jeff's legs, and then you can see Banks in the window. And that's really what kind of a standard weekend morning at my house would look like if we were here, which is not often. There's also this weird little squiggle right here, and it's just how the photo printed, so I might do a reprint of that if I can't cover it very easily. And then this is Jeff looking very lovingly at the Cooley's wings. So Cooley's is a restaurant that used to be maybe about 10 minutes from my house, and he loved the wings, and they had 2 locations, and they shut down the one near my house quite some time ago, but we found out that there was one in Swanee, and we happened to be over there in the car shopping shenanigans. So we decided to go eat there. It wasn't as good, he said, because he loves the wings and dreams about them, but I'm glad that we got it out of the way because now we know, and he doesn't crave them and want to go to that location where it's really out of the way. We just need to find him a new wing place is what it is. But I have a lot of ing words that I'm going to have to figure out for this particular spread to fill in. And the last day is Sunday, so I've got a picture of my yoga pants and my water bottle and my pink shoes, so it's a lot of pink, and the gym floor. It's not my favorite picture. I think I did a workout and then a run. Then I was making cube steak and mashed potatoes and green beans. So just kind of a very Southern dinner and gravy. And so I just kind of took this overhead shot of me mashing the potatoes and like getting ready to do the egg wash on so you dunk the meat in the egg and then into flour and then you fry it. That's how that works. It's actually a pretty cheap Southern meal. You can get cube steak for under $10, like 2 big pieces. It's usually like $5, $6, $7. It's not super expensive. And like I said, it's just like a cheap Southern meal. And then obviously potatoes are not super expensive, and a bag of green beans. Like I think the whole meal, like for 2 people, is like under $20 or something. It might even be less. But I just really wanted a picture of kind of that like Southern dinner aspect. And then this is also showing like the countertop of his grandmother. So it's his great grandmother's kitchen that's been moved into there. So it's like, it fits perfect, which is so bizarre that it fits so perfect. But it's like her stove, it's her sink, it's all of that. So it just has such a great like maternal historic vibe to it. And I've taken a couple other pictures over the years of everything out there so that we can have them. And then this is a picture of the house that I took with the magnolia tree, kind of like helping to frame everything because blooms are starting to pop up on it. With like new leaves and blossoms. I took this picture and I freaking love it. So there's like a cabinet in the hallway that has mirrors on it, and it's supposed to go in like a dresser or in a like bedroom or dressing area because it was supposed to be like a cabinet, but we use it for dishes. And so it's got the mirrors on the front, and I was able to take the picture of Jeff working through the mirror. So I thought that was really nice. If you're not a hunter, I'm sorry. And then that's the picture of Nuggie. So, I mean, it's just like his little work desk situation. I really wanted to get a picture of that. Just kind of like what life at the Ungalow looks like right now. And then this is a picture of what looks like just legs, but it's actually Jeff and I matching. So recently I have been ditching my pajamas to literally steal his boxers and steal a white t-shirt. So we literally look identical, which is a little funny, but it's so comfortable. It's so comfortable. And so I've been enjoying that. So I would probably say matching just because that's kind of what's going on here. And then in the back, we have nothing. So this is what I was thinking about. Maybe I at one point thought, well, what if I did like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday? Wait. What if I did? Well, I mean, I guess I could do Sunday or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then I would still have 2 extras. So I could do like photos here, or I could just put week in the life here and maybe do like Saturday, Sunday combined or something, or so, I don't know. But I don't know if I'm actually going to end up using this or not, like the backside to round out week in the life with additional stories or photos or things that just didn't get captured. Or if I pull a photo from the big page, like, will it end up back here? I'm not 100% certain. Like I said, the whole purpose of this video is to kind of show you like what it looks like almost like right after the documenting week. So you have your photos, you have your journaling. Now let's kind of get that. Now it comes into the process side of it. So I definitely think I'm going to do more typed journaling for this, just so I can get my stories out and have time to think about them. And I don't think I'm going to do them on like color cardstock or anything. I think I'm just going to keep it plain white, and I'm going to type my journaling out. So I think these pages are going to end up being, I think the photos are going to end up having the label and the or the label from my label maker so that it's textural. And then I think that these open spaces are going to be the journaling on white cardstock, just to, again, tone it down. It's a lot of photos. I think that's what it's going to look like. Let's see what it actually looks like when we finish. But I'm going to start working on these, and you guys will get a video, a processing video for sure of that. I'm not sure if I'm going to break it up into videos at this point or not. Meaning I don't know if I'm going to like do all the journaling and then do a video. I feel like that would be quite redundant. I think it's just going to end up being me doing all the journaling, cutting everything out, and doing the straight process video and doing the voiceover version that I normally do. If you guys participated in Week in the Life in 2024, let me know. I hope you find this video helpful. And until next time, guys, enjoy creating your own little wonderlands. Bye.